Imagine just for a moment that someone you love, your mother, your brother, or even a future child, is waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. Every day they hope for a call that might never come. Now imagine that the organ they needed was never donated. Not because someone didn't care, but simply because they lacked information or didn't check a box. Today, I want to talk about a simple yet powerful policy shift, and that's changing organ donation from an opt-in system to an opt-out system. I've spent time studying how countries approach organ donation and how human behavior affects life or death decisions. I know this is an emotional and deeply personal topic, and I respect everyone has the right to make their own decision. Whether or not you've ever thought about becoming an organ donor, this policy affects us all. We should adopt an opt-out organ donation policy because it saves lives, respects individual freedom, and better reflects the public's willingness to donate. First, I'll explain why the current opt-in system doesn't work as hoped. Then I'll show you how opt-out policies are more effective through examples in other countries. Finally, I'll address why this change still supports individual choice and ethical values. First, the opt-in policy simply isn't as effective as it needs to be. It depends on people actively registering, but many just don't get around to it, even though they support the donation in theory. This process usually involves checking a box at the DMV or signing up online. In theory, this sounds simple, but human behavior tells a different story. A poll from 2017 shows that from Penn Medicine that 95% of Americans support organ donation, yet only 54% are registered donors. In fact, I constructed a survey among 30 college students. While most were registered, the 4 that were not, they all said they supported organ donation in theory, they just haven't gotten around to it. This gap highlights a critical flaw. The opt-in system fails not because people are unwilling, but because they are inactive. And this is understandable. Death is a hard topic, so people want to avoid it. Decisions that feel emotional or uncomfortable get pushed off, yet this decision can have devastating consequences. A different study found in 2022 by the MDPI found that nearly 1 in 5 unregistered people believe they already signed up. This kind of confusion shows how fast intentions fall through the cracks. Medical professionals have pointed out this problem for years. They say that while public support is high, opt-in model is a barrier that stops good intentions from becoming action. As of May in 2025, a report from the OPTN shows over 105,000 people in the US are waiting for a transplant. That's not just a policy failure, it's public health crisis rooted from inaction. So if most people are already supporting donation but just don't register, how can we fix the system to align with intention? The answer lies in changing the way choices are framed. Let's think about a simple example. The difference between hitting subscribe versus unsubscribe on YouTube and how this has significant outcomes. The same goes for organ donation. As I'm about to inform you, the difference can mean thousands of people's lives saved every year. This idea is not far-fetched, and it's not even an original idea. Many countries have adopted opt-out systems, and they've seen dramatically higher donation rates. Let's look at Spain, for example. It uses an opt-out policy where all adults are presumed willing to donate unless they register not to. This simple shift has helped Spain become the global leader in organ donation for 3 decades. According to 2024 data from Moncla, Spain reached 52.6 organ donors per million people, the highest rate in the world. In comparison, the US has 48 donors per million in 2023. Although these are very strong numbers, it's much lower than Spain. So what makes Spain different? Their opt-out system. And the only major difference is how the decision is framed, because in the end, it is still a decision. Another example is Austria versus Germany. These are neighboring countries with similar language, culture, and even economic status. But Austria uses an opt-out system, while Germany uses an opt-in system. The result? According to 2024, a report from the University of Melbourne, Austria has almost nearly 100% of its population effectively registered as donors. Germany has just 12%. The contrast shows that this isn't about cultural attitudes or willingness, it's about how the system works and is put together. Opt-out policies remove unnecessary barriers, and it makes it easier for willing individuals to contribute. This brings us to a critical point. Some worry that opt-out policies could violate personal freedom, but that is just simply not the case. An opt-out policy doesn't force anyone to donate, it just flips the default. People still have full control and can opt out at any point with ease. According to ethical guidelines from the OPTN, consent systems are ethically sound as long as people are fully informed and can opt out with any barriers. These policies don't make decisions for people, they simply start from a place where statistics show what the majority of people already want, and that is to save lives. This was shown by the AMA Journal of Ethics in 2005, found that 70% of Americans want to donate, but far fewer are actually registered. This highlights the gap between intention and action, and opt-out systems help bridge the gap without removing choice. In fact, this system both respects freedom and better aligns public policy with public views. If we can honor people's choice and still give more patients a second chance at life, then this policy is worth pursuing. The real ethical concern isn't if people lose freedom, it's how many lives we contribute to lose under systems that don't reflect the public's will. As we wrap up this discussion, it's clear that organ donation policies are not just technical details, they have real life or death consequences. We've seen how the opt-in model leads to inaction and missed opportunities. Countries like Spain and Austria show us that opt-out systems save more lives, all while respecting individual freedom. As we've clarified that opt-out policies still preserve choice, this just makes it easier for people to follow through on what they already believe is right. This issue matters. It affects thousands of families waiting for that one call, for that one donor who might never come. Not because people don't care, but because the system failed to capture their intent. Changing to an opt-out model is a simple shift that honors independence while maximizing the chance to save lives. It's not just practical, it's moral. So here's my call to you. Advocate for change, speak up in your communities, and educate others on how this shift can transform our health system. We have the data, we have the examples, and now we need the will. Because one day, it might be your loved one waiting, and the difference between life and loss could be as simple as checking a box.